Hola! This is our tutorial on stem changing verbs and our little garden with flowers and their stems. Okay, so remember that a verb is an action word, and Spanish verbs are either regular or irregular. There are three types of regular verbs: ER, IR, and AR. Some verbs are not completely regular. Those are stem changing verbs. So there's three types of stem changing verbs that we're going to focus on, and they're called E to IE, O to UE, and E to I, and I will show you what that means. Okay, so some verbs, los verbos que cambian E to IE. So they're preferir, querer, pensar, empezar, comenzar, perder. These are all examples of verbs in the infinitive forms, which are the unchanged verbs. For instance, preferir, that's an infinitive. It is not conjugated. It just means to prefer. And in that form, you can see there's E, but there's no IE in there. Same with querer, to want. There's an E, but there's no IE. So the E before the arrow means that in the infinitive form, these verbs will have an E. But when you conjugate them or change them to fit with a subject, then those E's will change to IEs in some of the forms. So I will show you what that means. But just to go over, preferir is to prefer, querer, to want, pensar, to think, empezar, to begin or start, comenzar, like to commence, is to begin, and perder, to lose. How do these verbs work? Stem changing verbs give their stems the boot, meaning you'll see which forms change by the shape of a boot. So for querer, if you notice this chart, it's like the one we've been seeing all year. On the left, yo, I, first person singular, tú, you, second person singular. Usted is conjugated like third person, so él, ella, he, she, and usted is you formal. On the right side, we have our plural pronouns. Nosotros, nosotras is we. Vosotros, vosotras is you guys, informal. Ellos, ellas, they. And ustedes, you, formal, plural. So if I was going to conjugate this verb, I would take off the ER ending on querer, and what's left is my stem, which would normally be QUER. However, if I'm going to have it be a stem changing verb, which this one happens to be, then this E changes to an IE in all the forms of the boot. This does not include nosotros and vosotros forms. So, my stem will be quier for all of these, but still stay QUER for nosotros and nosotras. Once I have my stem filled in, then I can put my ER endings, which are OS, hemos, ACE, N. So I want, yo quiero. You want, tú quieres. He wants, él quiere. We want, nosotros queremos. You guys want, vosotros queréis. And they want, ellos quieren. Okay. So for the verb endings, if it's an AR verb, you add your AR endings. O asa, amos a isan. Remember the song. O asa, amos a isan. O asa, amos a isan. So those are the same. For ER endings, those are also the same for the ones we've used all year. OSC, hemos, is, en. And IR verbs are also the same. OSA, and remember the plural changes. Imos, is, en. Beautiful. There they are. So hopefully you remember these from studying your regular verbs before. So since querer ends in ER, which endings do we use? We use the ER endings. Bien. So again, you would just take your ER endings and put them on the stem, and notice here the stems aren't changed yet, so it's not quite right. Let's add our stem change. So remember, only the E in the stem can change. So for querer, perder, you would change the E, and if there's two E's in the stem, the second one is the one you change. So for preferir, you have to change that second E, and empezar, the second E. Okay. So remember, E can change to IE only within the boot. So don't change nosotros and vosotros forms. And there you have it. Quiero, quieres, quiere, queremos, queréis, quieren. So we changed the stem of the pronouns in the boot. Okay, U to UE and O to UE verbs work the same way. So it's just instead of changing the E, you can change a U to a UE and an O to a UE. Some examples: poder, jugar, dormir, soñar, volver, devolver. So these are examples. Big question: how do you know if it's a stem changing verb? There's no way to tell except to just memorize which verbs are stem changing verbs, which is kind of a bummer answer, but you do get used to it so that after you use and practice them, you just know which ones are stem changing verbs. Okay, so first find the O or U in the stem that is going to change. Those are the ones underlined. And so for jugar, ooh, that's terrible. It's yellow, sorry. But jugar and poder, you change it to juego. This is to play. Yo juego versus jugamos, where it doesn't change. Poder would change to puedo. So I can is yo puedo. So add your endings, and then remember, nosotros and vosotros would stay just the O, but you change that O to UE in the boot. So, sí se puede is Obama's slogan. Yes, we can. Or podemos. Okay, so just as a recap, there's three types of regular verbs: AR, ER, and IR. Some regular verbs are stem changing verbs. These are E to IE, O to UE, and U to UE. I don't know why it's not coming up, but to form stem changing verbs, cross off the endings, and then put the regular verb endings, and then change your stem. I don't even know. There's also other ones. E to I is another one. O to UE, E to IE, and U to UE. So there's more kinds, but just so you know, this is what they are and how they work. Okay, hasta luego.